Last week, nothing interesting. What did we talk about? Status and some PRs, I think. That today was not triage last week. Jint. All the topics. Demos, no demos.
I don't have one.
There is a demo. And there will be topics. And there is a status. Ultra one, 21st. Okay, something. I'd imagine the PRs we approved. I did shame this one is so last week. Interesting. Or maybe that's a new one. Slugify on text. Maybe that's a new one. No, I think we saw that. Data annotation for proper validation text length. Okay. This one to max length setting on the title, define a max length or change it. I think there was a bug that said I'm not sure that is useful. At least it can be negative, but max length on text field. Just want to check if there was a trial in this one. It's an old one, that's why I don't remember it. And I put okay. I want you to go. So it says 21st. Okay, this one. Update StackExchange.Redis, update the content element constructor protected. DisplayAsync return actual parental content. It's because of this position wrapper that was wrapping wrappers. So Mirage fixed the wrappers, the recursive wrappers. So now you can't wrap the wrapper, but just update the wrapper. Then we change JsonSerializerOption. I think, yeah, we saw this one last week. We got it. So now there is a new JsonSerializerOptions option that can be resolved to get the standard options for JSON serialization that contain the polymorphic type resolution. Plus all these changes which are included in the list of PR.
You know, since we're talking about JSON serializer, Zoltan, did you guys ever try it to make sure you don't find any issues with the serializer? Just curious, because I know it's a big one.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. Sarah is working on it. He actually also chimed in on this on GitHub. So yeah, she's gradually migrating everything because we have something like 30 features in more than 20 modules and everything else. But it's going well. I will also link the corresponding issue, and of course, we'll let you know about the results.
Thank you.
So here is a usage. Inject I option of JSON serialization options. And then when you use the JSON serializer and want to serialize things that have polymorphic types, then you pass these options here. Fix cause assets pattern gulp. Some files were changed by hand. There were some discrepancies between source files and generated files. So Sham will invoke the tool and submitted the changes. This was found when Antoine made this PR that showed that this thing here was not in sync with the source file and some other ones that's related. Support commands in recipes. So this is now system text JSON by default doesn't support commands or train commas maybe, and then these options here from JsonSerializerOptions allows that. So whenever we're loading JSON documents and we want to accept comments, then we need these options. This is not a default in JsonSerializer because this is not part of the standard. Bootstrap updated to 5 with 3. Fix steporder.js related to the change we saw in Bootstrap.
It's not really related to Bootstrap. The original thing actually here was that there was a jQuery exception, or at least some kind of JavaScript exception when you opened the deployment plan editor and there were no deployment steps. A community member fixed that, Lampersky, I think. But the issue here was that he didn't update or didn't correctly update the generated files, or well, the generated files, the build files in the web root, and the source file JS wasn't in sync, and that's what Mike fixed.
Yep. When I say it's related, it's because this PR showed the unsync. And what is that? Yeah, but this one just done updated, so maybe Sham didn't run everything, just on the core module. And then yeah, remember Mike, yeah, and I even told you, are you sure this is the correct order? Like, is it not supposed to be called when it's sortable instead of not sortable? So then this is the good value. Remove benchmarks and recommends. Why would we remove that?
Shouldn't that be part of some sort of a documentation, not in the code?
Well, issue is that when you look at the code, then you will not think about, oh, let me look into the documentation to see if the documentation contains.
Yeah, but you could put it like a reference, a link.
Okay, well, yeah, but I surely didn't hurt to have it. Yes. So the point of having the results there was like, when you look at the benchmark, next time, you know what the relative values were, at least. So if you do a change there, maybe you will see that, oh, there is a big, or maybe if you run it again, you will see, oh, we improved a lot this one compared to this one. Because like, in this case, it was 3 years ago, it was this value. I don't know, I thought it was useful to keep the last run or some value there. So maybe update it or
yeah, I'm guessing he's just doing some cleanup. That's why he got rid of them. I don't know. I haven't seen this PR yet, but.
Well, you can say it's useless because it's too old, and what do you do with these numbers? It was just for reference. So next time we run, we know what the last values were. And I don't want to put it in docs or prominently because it has low value for public view. Like it's just okay. Old results for us to see if we detect a pattern like.
I created a discussion a while ago for like anything related to performance and testing. So maybe like we could move something like that into it.
Yeah, could be stored in the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Expose CultureDictionaryRecordKey properties. Yeah, I wanted to comment on this one after. Only when I approved the PR, it made me think about something. This is a record, so don't need all this code. Just public read-only, public record, culture dictionary, message ID context on one line. This is a record. I will comment on the PR. Or should go. So it looks like a Jint update. Wait. To 720, the 21st at 5:17. To 723, the 27th. Support create and CreateAsync in DataMigrationManager. CreateAsync. Okay. What is that? Method info. Return type. The return type has a return method. And you invoke the method. So confusing.
Basically, if that method info is asynchronous, invoke it using the await. Otherwise, invoke it, synchronously, or asynchronous or synchronously. Yeah.
So, and what type can it be? Can it just be task of something or value task of something?
Yeah. Well, it's a task. So it's if you scroll down, it's the same thing we have been doing. Actually, if you go up.
Why not check if the return type base type is a task, or generic type, or generic base type, or something like that? Task of something, no? Or is it complex?
I'm not sure. I honestly just kept it the same as we have done before.
You even
scroll up and you'll see.
You even cast explicitly the result to a task hint.
Correct.
So if it's not a task hint, it will fail. So you could even check, is it a task hint? That would be even better than that, because if you pass a task of string as a result, you will invoke it because you say it has getAwaiter, but it will fail because you say now it's a task hint.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing we have done though, so that's why I haven't really changed anything. So look up, you'll see the old code. So it's a safer.
Yes.
Line 221.
It's also wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I see what you're saying. It would be safer to also check the return type.
If I wrote it, I slapped myself.
Oh. maybe you did and slapped yourself on the side.
But
just don't let us know.
But I think I would not have written something like that. So that's interesting.
We should really have the next harvest in person so people can
let's
issue all those.
Slap each other.
Take some notes. Take some notes for the next harvest. Like when you put some money in the jar box, like the square jar, like you take some here next time. Okay, cool. So what does this plan do? Because it was supported already. Oh, it was just for the update, and now it's also for the create.
Correct.
Azure Mail Communication.
So this one it's huge. A good thing there's no breaking change, but we ended up splitting the email service or the email feature module into 3 modules, one for SMTP and one for Azure email communication, which was just added. A lot of work here was done by Hisham, so thank you, Hisham, for all your hard work. And the good thing here is that the email is now provider-based and it's really easy to extend. So if someone wants to create their own provider for email, they can easily implement the email provider or I think it's email provider, and that's all you really need to do to add a new provider to the email. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I will slap people who change the text like this just to add more words that nobody understands and to make people have to relocalize their website.
Yeah, but the argument there that the word tenant should not be used for the site because it only makes sense for the SaaS owner and it doesn't really make sense for the site owner.
The current website will be reloaded when the settings are saved. Okay, good. Oh no, the website might be restarted upon saving the settings, potentially leading to operational failure during the process. You should take your helmet and be careful, but who cares?
Yeah, well.
So the intent here was that the next time we meet, the community members who have seen these, they won't want to slap us because they don't understand what's actually happening there.
Yeah, now I'm scared. I don't want to click the save button. I'm like, okay, what's happening? Maybe I shouldn't do that. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it unless you know what you're doing, you know.
I mean, yeah, we'll be okay, restarting. Okay, website. Okay, restarting. Okay. Register user task. I clicked by chance here, but so now to register a user, I need the email to be available. I can't.
Well, yes, because that one uses email. It depends on the email service.
You did
that
before.
Implementation. It did before too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was just wrong. I mean, it would be like the task will be available, but the email service is not available. So you get exception, but you don't see it. It's silent. So in order for that to correctly work, you'll need both the workflow and the email at the same time.
And when I enable Autoroute email, where is Autoroute email? Structure. Autoroute email. Core. Where is the module? Here. It's here. Startup. Add email services. Where is that? Autoroute core. Maybe in core. Autoroute core email. Service collection. Yeah, good. Email service, default email service. Okay, looks good. Job. I look at 3 files and I say, looks good. Makes sense. Makes sense. SMTPs and implementation detail to sending emails.
Yeah, the ISMTP service is no longer, well, it's still there, but it's marked obsolete. So if you want to send an email, you send it using the email service, and then the provider, based on the settings, the providers will be picked and used. So, I mean, anybody that's upgrading should probably look at the documentation just so they know what actually happened, because they're going to get warnings and stuff whenever they're or utilizing the ISMTP service. But yeah, everything is documented, so it should be quick read and then just quick update.
Why is there a core project that is not in the module?
Core project that's not in the, because that's in the core folder.
That's the question. Why is there a new core project? Why is that new?
There
was
not
one.
New.
Okay, that's not new. So my question is, maybe we should not have a core module, a core project. Maybe we should all be in the module.
Well, if you do that, then you're breaking people because you have to move things around.
Dude, they're already broken. No?
No, there's no breaking change right now.
If they enable a module, that's the only thing they do, then it won't break anyone. Would it?
No, but if they're depending on it, right? If they're depending on the core project, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why that's true. People should depend on core module.
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to introduce a breaking change, you know, would have simplified a few things. Like there's, for example, SMTP related stuff in the abstraction, and they're, you know, shouldn't belong in the SMTP, but because it's already in the abstraction, we don't want to move it around, because if we do, then that's a breaking change, and we try to avoid it. Yeah.
As a question, I didn't know it was existing, so the thing existed before, but I'm wondering if it should have been. Like, it doesn't make sense to have core projects like this, which are only used by modules. We can always reference a module if we need the implementation of something.
Yeah, I think core is not a bad idea, honestly, there, because it has some default implementations. But there is cleanup to be done. Like anything SMTP related should not be part of core and or the abstraction. Those should be part of the SMTP module directly. But you know, I didn't want to make that change because, like I said, it's going to break someone, and I was trying to avoid that. But I mean, maybe a follow-up PR and just introduce breaking change. I mean, we'll clean up the code.
No, maybe I'm also contradicting myself by stating that I don't know, there is a rule we have. I don't remember it. We have it. I'm sure if we watch the previous meetings, we'd find it. The modules can't reference each other or something like this. And this is why we create abstractions for core projects. We have a rule like this.
Yeah, that's I think typical thing we followed, yes, because dependency, like the feature dependency, will allow us to enable features, and yes.
Fine, that's good. And documentation, perfect. Awesome. Okay, thanks everyone. DataMigrationManager demo, alternative demo.
Yep. Let me share my screen, and actually, even before that, let me share a link just to get you excited. Okay, and now you should be able to see my screen. So this is about the training demo. Everybody knows the training demo, so I won't introduce it. No, for those who don't know the training demo, this is our tutorial module. It's an OceanCore module, and actually it's a module project and also a test project, and a lot of documentation that teaches you to become an OceanCore developer. So if you like to learn from code, then this is for you. This is only about development, not the user-facing parts of OceanCore and basic concepts, or that little bit that's touched on too. But mostly, you go there and you see a lot of code and even more documentation. So there's the training demo. It's an old module. It was there in the Ocean 1 times. We have rewritten it for OceanCore. We continuously update it. That's not the point. The point is that we have some simplification there. And this started from Mike's issue, but although nobody kind of vocalized it in such a succinct way, we got feedback over time that using the training demo is hard. Specifically, its context is hard to use because previously you had to use our open source OceanCore extensions kind of parent project. So this one. This is an OrchardCore solution that includes all of the Lombiq OrchardCore related projects as submodules, and it also uses Node.js for client-side builds and linting and whatnot. So if you want to contribute to Lombiq stuff, then you need this, but you also need this setup here. And this actually links to other projects where there's also some setup steps. Primarily where people really stumbled was the Node.js setup. For various reasons, Node.js setup is always hard. It shouldn't really be, and well, they also have that documented, but still, unless you start from a newly installed Windows or Linux and you follow these religiously, you might get issues. So a lot of setup needed just so you can work with the training demo module, but not anymore. So stemming from this, I simplified the training demo a lot, and now the whole thing is here. So if you clone this repository, or you can actually just download the source code as well, it doesn't matter because it doesn't use submodules, Git submodules anymore. You get this. You get a full solution with a web application, which is an OrchardCore using web app. And here we have the actual training demo module and the mentioned test module, test project, and all the related documentation and whatnot as well. So now you just need to hit F5 or Control F5 here. Well, if it actually works. And on the first request, no other setup, dependencies, whatever needed, just .NET. I'm using Visual Studio here, but Visual Studio is not needed either. You can do this from the .NET CLI, or you can use another IDE or whatever else. And when you start the application, auto setup runs with the recipe to demonstrate some things in the training demo, which was there previously as well. And that's it. So from now on, you can follow the tutorial, which actually starts here, and this start learning here. Start learning here Markdown file, and go through the training sections, either in order, if you start from scratch, or if you are looking for something specific, like I have never done static resource management before or permissions before, then you can just go there directly and start from that topic. So that's it. This should happen. This should help OrchardCore newcomers a lot. So no more setup needed, no more jumping through hoops. If you want to learn about OrchardCore, you can learn about OrchardCore. You don't need to learn about Node.js or PowerShell or whatever else.
Great job. It's definitely much easier for newcomers to just run that project and follow instructions than having to monkey around with dependencies. So thank you for doing that.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Sultan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks.
At least Mike will do less mistakes in Orchard.
Yeah,
That's
Mike,
true.
I agree with you.
Hey, by the way, Sultan, if I may ask, any update on the survey that Victoria did? I'm not so sure if there's any update there.
I think she will share some results next week. We had something like 20, 30 responses.
Okay, we'll wait. No problem. Thank you.
I need to tweet that. Got an answer last week.
Sorry, say again?
I need to tweet it. I thought you had access to the Twitter account, but she asked me to tweet it.
Oh no. And you know, TweetDeck, the tool that you could previously use to manage a Twitter account by multiple people, that's now a paid feature. So if you gave access via that, then that's not working anymore.
Putting the email just to understand what I need to share. The site. Okay. I'm sharing the site. Let's see if I can. Do I have multiple accounts here? I do. I'm already okay. Wait for it. 1 minute. 10 seconds maybe. Can we keep on post? Boom, paste the link. Beautiful. No typos. Post. Okay. Posted. Sharing screen. You should have seen a message from the Autoroute Twitter account to this page. What else? Okay, done with demo topics. Questions? Any PRs we should look at, talk about?
I'm not sure if there's any PRs that need to.
Don't have any PRs. The big thing. Oh, maybe a release.
It's too early, I think, until we get Zoltan to test all that changes we did for the JSON. That's we gotta test it thoroughly before we release, I think.
Yeah, we already even people will test it.
No, people will be
on production. Reduce constructor injections.
Oh yeah, look at that
controllers.
one in my help.
Controllers. Not just that, but changes apart from that. So
yeah, just mainly the constructor. Look at the constructor. So yeah, 3 list services mainly. One of them, if you look at the index, I'm using something I typically don't like using, which is from services. But I think in the content can make sense just because that controller is widely used. And so, yeah, line 71 to 73.
This is the only one to use these services.
Say that again.
Is the only action that is using this services?
Yes. Yeah, that's why I injected it there.
Do you have to use this attribute, or can you just put that?
You know, I never tried it without.
Because
but I believe you do.
APIs, you don't have to.
So minimal API, correct, because it does that injection.
Right.
I would try it, actually. I would try it. I don't think it behaves the same as minimal APIs, but I'll try it because I want to know too.
Yeah, it's for actions.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, you know, sometimes there is a new thing. Like, it's funny because I asked a question to, so what was it? Let me look down. Notepad. I always have Notepad. So what was it? Yes. Okay. So if you have like a constructor like this, and you say IHtmlContent manager. And then because you want one, right? But then you want a service like email service, but it might not be registered. But if it's there, you want it, like you want to know if it's there, right?
Right.
And so what I used to do, well, I used to do that. I enable that, and then I would check the count of services like this. So if none has been registered, this collection is empty. If one has been registered, I take the first one, okay? But what you can do actually is that, well, I had a colleague who said, oh, just do that. And then this way, if it's null, it means it's not registered. And then I asked the developer of dependency integration, the one who wrote the first version and multiple versions in ASP.NET. And he said, no, use that. And then I'm like, well, I tried it and it works. And he's like, oh, let me check. Then that's weird because I didn't know it would work. The guy who wrote it, right? And he looked at the code and he found it was implemented in 2015, 9 years ago. He had no idea. So you can do something like that when you inject. So you know, sometimes you don't know, and it actually works. You just didn't realize because you are so used to seeing these examples that you believe this is the way to do it. And no, actually there are other ways. But yeah, interesting. So let's see.
So if you put the question mark, meaning it's nullable, even if it's not in the IOC container, it will still resolve it as null and moves on.
Yeah, and the nullable is you don't even need a nullable. If you have a default value, then it will try to resolve it. So what he said is that you could also do something like this. Because the DI is clever to find the constructor that has the most services. Okay, so if it doesn't find that, it will use this one. But you can also just say that with a default value, and then it will resolve it.
Does it have to have a default value, or can you just put the question mark?
And if you put the question mark, yeah, you still need the default value. Oh,
you still need it. Okay. Yeah, because like when you do that, it should say it allows null. So I'm not sure if you would also need the null. I mean, it's probably worth trying, just FYI.
Yeah, but this is free and maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember this one. So, yeah. This one will definitely work. Yeah, so just saying that's something you can do. So you're going to the PRs. So you have that optimizer. Yeah, why not? Doesn't hurt, doesn't break anything.
There's another deploy target as a JSON recipe, like fifth one down your list.
Yeah, that's weird that we have done that, or maybe we knew that we didn't want to do that for some reason. That's weird. So right now
it just gives you option.
Oh, I know why. Yes, I know why. Now I remember why you can't do that. Can try, but people will complain and file issues. Oh, it doesn't work because recipes can add attachments or multiple files, and then it will fail with that. Like if you have the media explorer, how do you do that? No, you need a zip file. So try to add a media export and see what's happening. If you lose the media, like it will be silent, or if it tells you that it doesn't work, or just try that.
I'll do. So add a media step, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Like to the recipe and see if I can export. Oh yeah, I mean, you can't export media in a plain format.
You could say it will be like an embedded base64 string in a property of the JSON output. That would work. People want that. I mean, they realize this will happen, but maybe, I don't know. Low risk until you found actually there was a risk. So I got a notification of security vulnerability. And because people, when they deploy sites, they hire consultants to find security vulnerabilities, and these consultants, they use tools, robots, like the thing that Zoltan demoed a few weeks ago, but not the same one. And it flagged some piece of code that was changing the URL on the client side or something. So they said it's an open redirect issue. And I looked at the code, I'm like, no, it's not an open redirect, because the URL that we pass in the href has nothing to do from user input. So it's the system that generates it, it's all encoded and everything. And I said, give me a repro. And they came back to me saying, this is what's happening. And they gave me the definition of an open redirect. Like, fine, I know what an open redirect is. So I looked at the code, and I had to build the proof that this was not an open redirect, because everything that we were using to build the URL that we were loading was from either database values that we own or models and things that users don't provide. And there was one thing that the user provided, which is the name of the layer, maybe. And this name in the URL is encoded. So there is no way you can create an open redirect with that thing. Yeah, so sometimes, yeah, just saying like, yes, low risk stuff can provide issues because we just don't know until so this one, try it. Yes, it's
yeah, well, the low risk is in the code,
yeah,
not in the approach.
I mean, yeah, they can't break anything. It's not breaking. Worst case, it won't render the JSON file, or the file will be big, and who knows? Oh, you could take a site down with that, maybe, because if we generate let's try that, generate a JSON document and add the media step and your biggest media files, just to see if everything is loaded in memory and crashes your computer.
No, I mean the low risk point right there. It's not about the PR is a low risk. However, the code change that I'm saying, I'm looking to introduce a breaking change, which I did.
Oh, I thought
it was
just a different step. I thought it was a different type of thing that you add, and then okay.
No, because
because we were always using a zip file. It was not an extensibility point. That was by design, zip file.
Yep. Okay, so I changed it so you have a base that doesn't depend on a file, but then you have a file implementation and then a memory stream implementation. So it's a low risk because most likely people are not using that class, but they could. So if they are going to get a breaking change, but right.
Oh, I see. You have options now. Yeah, try to add media file. And then if it works, try to add big media files. And see if it still works. Yeah, even that is not good. We could just pass a string. The zip file that would be better than loading it in memory. And I'm pretty sure I will slap myself, because I'm pretty sure I wrote this line. Maybe there was no API to do that before. Maybe we should check like the zip file as a way to add a string. Well, it's our abstraction. Yeah, file builder, maybe. That's bad. Maybe set string. Oh, boom, it's there. I was talking, we need a set stream. I mean, this is like literally that, so that's good. So why aren't we using that? Well, I should get bytes. Maybe this is a different thing. Oh, maybe this is when we write the result. I don't know. Verify. Yeah, same lifting should be a string gets string. Okay, cool. So we look at it Thursday. This one we should also talk about.
You know, that one we actually should talk about it because there's couple PRs now involved in, like, you know, controlling how we code, which isn't bad, but I don't know how many projects we really need to depend on just to clean up our code, because all these projects at the end of the day, they're opinion based. So I'm wondering, we should kind of figure out which one, because I think was it Zoltan? No, Benedict. I think Benedict had a PR in there for bringing another project around formatting too. So I think we just need to figure out which one do we want and just pick one and stick with one instead of having, you know, too many projects. Because at the end of the day, if we have too many projects, they could start stepping on each other. One tell you do this and the other one tells you do the other way, and then, you know, we have a conflict of editor. So
Feature hash. Why do we have an interface for an abstraction of a feature hash? We really don't need that. We will say, oh, I don't agree with how you build the hash of the features. I mean, who cares? Can you change the hash of a string? No, it is what it is. It's just an integer. It has to be unique when you change a feature. That's all you need to do. So why do we need to abstract it? Okay, feature hash. Where is that feature hash? Because it's an abstraction. Okay, so feature hash. Ah. This thing here, this is trying to be clever when we should not try to be clever. Okay, yeah. So .NET hash combinator. Hash code combine. This is what we should use. Feature hash, new issue. Blank issue just for the done. What's the name of the thing? Hash code combine. Place to place our own logic. So that while looking at the code changes, you see that this formatter is using one line when it is in the size that is accepted by the settings, like these ones. It's not defined here, but you define the size of the line max that you want, and then the constructor will be folded if it's too long or expanded or folded. And see, this one is good enough, doesn't do any new line. That's just an example. It's cleaning the spaces, it's removing the commas. But a PR like this will break all the PRs. I think Mike, you mentioned that. To break all the PRs for conflicts, and then it's done on thread. It can be resolved, so that's good. And I suggested, why not apply the prettification on the PRs also? This way, there should not be any conflict because the same changes will be applied in the source and the destination. So it should solve all the conflicts. And to do that, we could make a workflow, a GitHub action that you apply to pull request, and then it will just apply it to the pull request. This way we don't have to do it on all pull requests, just the ones that we want to merge and upload by. Changes like this. Or to all the pull requests. I don't know. If it has to be a script that does that.
In that case, I can submit a nice PR that would just break everyone, and it would convert all of these classes to scoped, remove the namespace, simplify it to use scope.
Yeah, maybe at the same time we can also change the namespaces, yeah, because we know it will break the PRs, and that's why we said, and you said, please don't do that because it's breaking the PR.
Yeah. But at some point, we need to do it.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it would be fine if we have a, if we do that with a prettifier and it also replaces the namespaces, and then we apply on the PRs, and then done. We should try with the PR maybe. Why it will work. So here, what it doesn't do is, if we have a list of new lines with a comma like this at the end, because we know that we want to add a new line, then it won't, the diff will be nicer. When it's folding it, it doesn't remove the comma. Kind of sad, but yeah. Maybe some issue to file source code of the prettification.
The added comma?
Here, you see, there's a comma here.
Yeah.
So when it's putting everything on the same line, it's keeping the comma, but we don't need the comma anymore in this case.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a good idea to put them all on the same line. I think it should be just like it was before. I think it's, it's opinion, but I think it's nicer. I'll tell you why, because, next time you have to add something, you only mess or add a line instead of have to change the whole thing. Because it's much easier for us to read when it's on a multiple line. Plus the width of the screen, you don't want to go all the way to the right.
That's what it takes into account. There is a width that is set and it says like 160. If the line fits in 160, it says I will use one line, so it will go back to one line. That's what it says.
Yeah.
The same.
And every time if we change it, we have to go and change, reformat it.
No, I mean it's consistent. You said if it's too long, it should go on the different lines. Yes, and the thing says it's not too long. So why?
But you notice the if condition, right? So you have to think about the if condition. But if you, for consistency, just keep it all everywhere, no matter the length or no matter what. Always span it multiple lines. Then you'll know for sure the width is good enough, and you don't have to think about if it's long enough or not. You know what I mean? So if you're looking at the code throughout,
it's a tool.
All of it will look the same.
I understand. But... So I mean, the tool is stupid. It says, okay, too long, not too long. But maybe there is a rule to say if it's a new object, I want multiple lines. Maybe there is something like it.
I personally would prefer the old way, but
like this, I prefer also. I'm okay if it's that. I prefer this one. I won't complain if it's like this, but I prefer this one. Yeah. The same way I prefer the comma at the end, because when we have the new line,
correct,
the commit is just one grain. Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's much easier and consistent across the board.
You need to start a new project called Mike Prettifier.
Yeah. well, that's what's wrong with opinion-based projects, is that, well, what if we disagree? And it's the same comment I had on Benedict PR, because I'm like, how can I change your, built-in options? I mean, you're depending on a external project, which is opinion-based. Most likely it's going to be great, but then what if we want to change it? Do we have the option? If we don't have the option, then I would have a problem with it, because now I can't change it. So I added a project just to limit myself. So what's the point? Just utilize whatever we've been doing, which is the editor, and hopefully we have a way to enforce it. But
yeah, here it's interesting because you can't read anything, and now it's correctly on different lines, so it's nice. Yeah,
it's nice to have it on a multiple line like that.
Yeah.
But it should be consistent across the board. Not some places yes, not places not.
Yeah, it's based on the line. If it fits, it uses one. If it doesn't, it uses more. So here it says it fits because it's 172 and the max must be 180. But it's easier to read this way. Maybe there are options for that. We'll see. Okay, let's go. Time.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys. Thank you.
See you on Thursday.
Thank you.